We all have had to make tough decisions in our lives. And sometimes those tough decisions are between two good options. And it may be that both of them are good. It's just hard to decide which one we want to do. Other times those tough decisions are incredibly difficult because we realize that regardless of what choice we make, it's going to cost us something. There'll be difficulty. And so those tough decisions go from anywhere from a job to a move to educational choices to whether we buy a house or medical decisions. They're all there, they're real, and we face those challenging, difficult, or tough decisions most days of our lives. But I believe there's one tough decision that we oftentimes overlook, or maybe we even choose not to make that decision. And that's the choice or the decision to sin. As we go through our lives, every day of our lives, we face these moments where we make a choice. Am I going to sin or am I not going to sin? And more often than not, when we get to that point where we're choosing, when we begin to make that decision, we move to rationalizing. We go, well, it's not that bad. Did God really mean that I shouldn't do this? Or does it really matter? Or maybe, hey, I'm not going to get caught. Who knows? And we forget that God himself knows everything, not only what we do, but what we think. I was recently reading through Hebrews chapter 11 again and seeing that hall of fame of faith when I came across Moses. And when I was thinking about tough decisions, these verses stand out clearly. Let me read them. By faith, Moses, when he was grown up, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to be mistreated with the people of God than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. Now, none of us have had to make that difficult of a decision where it would cost our lives, where we'd have to be isolated and thrown out of our family. There are people in the world that do. But most of the time, our choice is whether or not we choose to be who God has called us to be as the people of God, or we chase after, or we choose to sin. Chase after what again is what the author of Hebrews writes, is to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. You see, sin may feel good in the short term, but it is fleeting. It never satisfies, and it is actually destructive to our lives, not only spiritually, but often emotionally and psychologically. So here's the challenge for you today. Think about it day by day. Be aware of the choices you make. And like Moses, relying on the grace of God, choose not to sin. Choose to be part of the people of God rather than the fleeting pleasures of sin. I'm Bob Orner, and I'd like you to think about that.